Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our fireside chat. Today we are bringing you something a little different, an informal and open conversation about the Mauritius financial services industry. Joining me today are two persons from the Osidan family. Mr. Mahen Seeruttun, one of the shareholders, and Mrs. Pamela Turrell, one of the directors. Together, you both have helped shape Osidan vision and growth. And we would like to have your insight about how Mauritius is evolving as an international financial center. So let's dive in our first topic. Mr. Mahen, can you tell us a bit about Osidan and the story behind it?
Well, thank you, Keshav. First, I must say, Osidan, at its inception, it was to, of course, be a management company offering services to its clients. But its main focus has always been, since its inception, is to be more of a trusted relationship with the clients. So the idea has always been to focus on quality, on trust, and on business relationship. So that's what has kind of motivated me to join Osidan Management Services along the way. And today I must say, after 2 years of its existence, Osidan has built up that growth momentum, and its client base is growing, I must say. Not only in the region as we probably initially thought, but it's around the world. We have clients from Africa, of course, but also from Europe, from the US, and from the Middle East and Asia. So I must say, for me, joining Osidan was the right path after my previous commitment, my previous responsibilities. And I feel that Osidan has got the team and the drive to be able to really give and provide the services that clients are looking for in this new environment that I must say is very competitive, and that's where I feel that Osidan is probably focusing on those areas where clients are really expecting that we kind of deliver on those services that they would require as a service provider.
Thank you, Mahen. That's a great foundation to start with. As we know, you have been our previous Minister of Financial Services and Economic Planning. So the viewers will have great insight from you, and our stakeholders will be very happy to listen to us and take decision accordingly. We will have some set of questions that the investors want to hear from us, that they want to know about Mauritius and offshore and globally. So the first question is about, is Mauritius still an attractive destination for the investors? We know Mauritius has long been seen as a trusted international financial center, but recently we know there's global shift, there's new competition. So the question is Mauritius still an attractive destination for investors?
Well, I must say, Keshav, this is a question that really comes very often on the table. Are we still the destination that used to be from its when we created the Mauritius Offshore Center, or the Global Business Center? I must say, even that the landscape has evolved, and so too has Mauritius global business industry. And therefore, to give a direct answer to your question, it's a yes. It's a definite yes. Still, Mauritius is a preferred destination when it comes to investors looking for a jurisdiction where to set up their structures. I think we have to go back to when we started our global business sector back in the I would say late 80s, early 90s, where the focus was really on on tax treaties that we had with different countries, and especially at that time when India was emerging, and there were lots of investment going into India from everywhere, I must say, especially from the US and Europe, and the treaties that we had with India was very attractive at that time, so in terms of tax efficiency. But over the years, like I would say today, after 30 years more plus of being in that space, Mauritius has become a mature industry, a financial center, and we have, of course, diversified our products, and also in terms of be it compliance, be it of in terms of pool of skills that we have created over the years, makes Mauritius a place where investors still look for. I mean, suffice to say, when it comes to security, when it comes to stability, political stability or economic stability, when it comes to a legal system that we have, which is very strong and solid, the banking system, which is, I would say, when you look at the history of the banking system in Mauritius, dates back to the 1800s, to tell you how the whole ecosystem that we have built over the years makes it a plus point for investors when they look at Mauritius as a choice when looking for jurisdictions to set up the structures. So I would say again, we are still a preferred destination, but still, of course, like I said, always, we don't have to be complacent. We have to always thrive through, because competition is very, very, very harsh, and therefore we have to always adapt to new environment, to new situations, and to new expectations as well from clients.
Thank you. Pamela, you're dealing with clients every day with the structures, and you as director, what are you observing?
So yes, Keshav, so my observation is that we're still seeing a lot of positive momentum into the sector. So just to give you an idea, if we take this year, 2025, so the FSC has seen a positive inflow, a positive number of new incorporations for 2025, and not only in the corporate side, but more and more into specialized licenses, fund management licenses, special licenses like PIS licenses. So the FSC has seen a positive inflow on that side. So let me just share a few figures with you. So we have around 450 new licenses out of the third quarter of 2025 itself. And out of the third quarter of 2025, so the number of licensees is around 6,500, which is an 8% increase from last year's figure. So definitely there is a positive momentum, and so investors are still interested in the sector and in the IFC.
Yeah, so from what you say, it's at Mauritius, we have not lost our edge, we have evolved over time, right?
There were new licenses which the FSC have come up with, in terms of technology-wise, like the, Vitus Act has been enacted, and to that effect, there were 5 new licenses which is being offered by the FSC. And also, there were new products like family offices and general headquarters, which are attracting more and more investors to the IFC nowadays.
Thank you, Pamela. Now, moving on to a very important subject that investors want to know. It is about navigating digital transformation and fintech disruption. So, we are hearing about buzzwords like AI, digital assets, and blockchain. So, we know technology has been transforming every industry around the world, including Mauritius. So, Mahen, if I can ask you, how is Mauritius adapting to this digital disruption?
I think you are right, Keshav. I think digital transformation is happening already in all sectors, in all the spheres of our life. I mean, and the financial services sector is no exception. So it's also embarking in that transformation. So it's happening, like I said. And for me, the whole financial landscape is changing with this new tools that we have with regard to new technologies. You mentioned about blockchain, AI, and all that. I mean, it's here, and we have to make good use of it. And that's why, I mean, Pamela mentioned about the new legislations that we enacted some time back that allows us to put the proper kind of legislative framework in place so that we can navigate in that space now. And I must say, I was myself involved in it, and we ensured that when we were enacting that piece of legislation, it at least adheres to all the recommendations of the FATF with regard to compliance. So when we are now allowing for licenses to be issued to operate in that particular space, they have to abide with the conditions, the standards set by the international institutions like FATF. So for us, it's something that we have to always be, I would say, proactive and be ensure that we don't miss the train with regard to that digital transformation that's happening. So, of course, with the new licenses that have been issued by the Financial Services Commission, I believe there are lots of interest from investors and clients looking at those licenses as potentials for doing business in Mauritius. So definitely that digital transformation is really changing the whole financial landscape, not only in Mauritius but across the world.
Perfect. Pamela, you're very close to the regulatory side. What is changing in practice here?
So in practice, as Mr. Mahen mentioned, in terms of digital transformation, the FSC has been very innovative, and there are many new licenses to that regard which are being offered nowadays to investors. So firstly, you have the 5 Vitus licenses, which is very interesting, and we've seen positive momentum on that side. Many investors have been querying us on that. And over and above the Vitus licenses, we have other licenses, for example, the payment intermediary system licenses, which a few years back would have been very difficult for investors to apply for. And even if they could have obtained the license, to operate the company would have been difficult. But nowadays, not only the Financial Services Commission, but even, the Bank of Mauritius has been, innovating. And nowadays, many banks are allowing these licenses to operate a bank account and service them from Mauritius. So it is really not useful if you have obtained the license, but you cannot, do your banking transactions from Mauritius. So even on that side, banks have been very innovative, and now they are able to offer these licenses and accounts which they can operate from Mauritius.
We have also come up with a fintech strategy, at least to put in place the right setup and infrastructure to ensure that we really embark fully in that space to attract investment on that area.
Yes, and with respect to digital transformation, so nowadays we are seeing more and more in terms of compliance of eKYC. Yeah. So, previously there was a traditional way of providing copies of documents, and then you had to certify it and all. So nowadays, many management companies are adopting eKYC, and there have been many instances where they have developed their own application, whereby, for example, a client can log in on the platform, and then, he can upload copies of his documents there, even do a video to prove that he's the one who's uploading it. So this is something very interesting, and it has facilitated the due diligence process for investors, which previously they might have considered to be very cumbersome. But nowadays, with digital transformation, they find it very easy to complete the KYC process.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So let's now dive into our another topic, which is managing regulatory compliance and EML CFT risk. So this has always been in the center of in our industry. People are talking about it, are questioning, they are looking for answers. So, how do you see the landscape right now, for both Mauritius and globally?
You know, as a international financial center, there's one thing that investors always look for. It's the reputation, the trust, and how far we are adhering to the standards set by international institutions. And I must say, at one time we were on the Financial Action Task Force, the FATF grey list. And for us it was a wake-up call, because we had to look at all the different legislative frameworks that we had in place, how to ensure that they are in line with the standards set, and also ensure that all the institutions and the regulatory bodies are all aligned with all the standards set by the FATF or even the OECD or even the EU. So for us, we work hard, I must say. We work hard to ensure that we adhere to those standards. And I must say, I'm very proud as a Mauritian, but also as a minister back then, to have helped to come out of that grey list quite fast, in a record time, I must say. And in fact, we didn't stop there at that time. We ensure that we are in compliance with all the standards. As you know, probably, FATF has 40 recommendations, 40 standards, and today Mauritius is, can say, it's probably one of the few countries that is fully compliant with all the 40 recommendations of FATF. Not only with regard to FATF, but also with the OECD on tax. We don't practice any harmful tax. We're not considered as a harmful tax jurisdiction, and also with the EU standards. So compliance is something which is we take very seriously, and we have to ensure that we are perceived to be a jurisdiction that uphold those standards. So reputation as a serious international financial center for us is primordial, I would say. So I think on that count we can't make any compromise. And for me, like I always said, it's not only, some people might say it's a cost, but it's not a cost. It's an investment on trust, on reputation, on the quality of service that you offer. And that's what people look for today.
Yeah, points. So, Pamela, what does it look in practice? Are firms able to manage these expectations?
Yes, Keshav. So, there were certain instances where AML CFT compliance could have seemed cumbersome for investors, for clients. But as Mr. Mahen rightly pointed out, so proper adherence to AML CFT standards nowadays is no longer being considered as a cost, but rather as an investment by investors, an investment into their own security. So at Osidan, we spend quite some time in educating investors and educating clients, explaining to them the importance of compliance. And, we have adopted certain measures at our end so that the process does not seem cumbersome to investors, but rather, as a process which is helping them to protect their investment into the sector. So at Osidan, we perform, normal due diligence on clients, but there are instances where we have to perform enhanced due diligence. If there are factors which will trigger and make us perform enhanced due diligence. But we educate clients to understand that compliance is very important.
Great. Now moving on to a very important subject, which is about skill shortage and gaps. Talent gaps that we are seeing not just in Mauritius but globally.
I mean, again, this is something which is very much on the table, where service providers find it a bit sometimes hard to recruit, and it's not something which is only happening in Mauritius. It's on all major financial centers. They have that kind of challenges at the moment, because people tend to move around. Talents are really being well sought after, and of course in Mauritius we also face that issue. And like I said earlier on, the whole landscape is keep on evolving, transforming. So we need people to keep on learning, adopting new skill sets. So there is a kind of a gap sometimes between training, educating those staff to learn those new skills. So that's why at the level of the government there is the Financial Services Institute, which is, I would say, the training arm of the ministry concerned, to train and to kind of at least provide specific training courses to address this issue.
Correct. That you correctly said that the world is evolving. The talent has to keep learning, adapting, and Pamela, you as director, you manage a team, you work with clients, you recruit. How is it playing out in practice?
So in practice, Keshav, at Osidan, we put a lot of emphasis on training. So it is both on-the-job training and also, external trainings. So we spend quite some time in training our new recruits so that they have, the relevant knowledge and also the relevant tools to be able to service clients. So there is a lot of on-the-job training that is given to our staff, but also, internal trainings that is provided by our more experienced staffs. And then we also organize external trainings, like Mr. Seeruttun mentioned, the FSI. So along with the FSI, there were many other training institutions that offer very interesting trainings for our people. So from time to time, we try to select a few trainings which will be relevant for us, and we attend, not only the senior management level, but also all the people working in the organization. So everyone has the opportunity to attend a few trainings during a year. So one point is training, but the other point also is what are the benefits that you give to your people. So, remuneration is one aspect, but nowadays, with the new generation coming in, there are other benefits that you have to provide them to keep them encouraged, So at times, we can offer programs like work from home. So maybe 1 or 2 days you can work from home, and then, 3 days a week you work from office. And then, other incentives like training into using AI, for example, how to be, if you want, smarter, pragmatic in using AI. So there are a range of benefits that we also try to offer to our people to keep them, committed to the company.
So yeah, if I hear you correctly, I understand that training, exposure, and openness to global collaboration is the way forward. Let's say the correct formula.
Yes. So management companies in Mauritius, they had to figure out how to tackle this phenomena of shortage of staffs, because more and more we see that young talents tend to shift abroad maybe they find it more interesting to work abroad. So management companies had to figure out how to tackle this problem, but I can say that we've been able to find a solution so that we give the correct level of service to clients.
So now I'm going to move into a different, very important topic, which is our diversifying product offerings and global reach. So Mahen, how important is it for Mauritius to evolve from its traditional business models?
I would say that if initially when investors were looking at Mauritius, they were very much focused on the tax efficiency issue. Today this is no more the main decision-making process for them. They look at Mauritius as a jurisdiction that has the right ecosystem in place to do business, where you have a free flow of capital, no restriction at all. Those investment protection, promotion protection agreement that we have with a number of countries that help to secure their investments. They look at the banking system, which is, like I said, very solid. And there is no restriction on foreign currency. You can, of course, bring in your investment, and whenever you feel like removing them, there's no restriction at all. Today you can have bank accounts in different currencies, foreign currencies, and when we look at the different free trade agreements that we have with a number of countries, be it with mainland China, be it with India, be it with the African countries under the African Free Trade Agreement. Of course, with the EU, until previously, still we have with the US under the AGUA, which has been extended for another year. Hopefully, there's going to be a new trade agreement with the US going forward.
Pamela, and you working with the clients, are you seeing more interest in these new product areas?
Yes, definitely, Keshav. So we see more and more interest in the new product offerings. So definitely we have part of our client base who looks for traditional structures, for investment holding, consultancy, or trading. But we've seen an increase in interest, regarding new products. For example, there is the family office license, whereby, you can, someone can come here with one license and manage the businesses of their family, across the world through Mauritius under one license, which is very, very easy, which makes it very easy and practical for them to manage family businesses under one license. And then you also have another license, which is the general headquarter license, which is also very, gives a lot of flexibility to clients. They come here in Mauritius and they set up their general headquarters here. And through that license, they can manage their business across the world. So definitely, we are seeing more and more interest in these areas. But we also, as I mentioned earlier, in terms of the technology licenses, like the Vitus licenses, the PIS licenses, so more and more interest in these licenses.
Now moving on to a very common question, fear that stakeholders, service providers and investors ask is about enhancing the ease of doing business in Mauritius. So a lot of the times there will be delays in the regulatory approvals, on the onboarding, and even bank account opening will take weeks, months. So how is this challenge? Is Mauritius addressing these challenges? Is there any progress in this one? Yeah.
I think we have made a number of improvement, because I remember back then there were service providers coming to me and say, well, it's taking time to get approval for a license, applications take too long, and sometimes their clients are a bit kind of frustrated. And that's why I know at the level of the regulator, the FSC has come up with a number of innovative ideas. Like I mentioned earlier on, the digital platform for submission of applications, the eKYC, which is another area that kind of helps the process. And also when it comes to you have a client that is already licensed with the FSC, and if he's applying for a different set of licenses, then all the documents are already available at the FSC. You don't have to ask for a new set of new documents from that particular client, because they know, the Commission knows the client. So that too has also been looked at, so that we don't have to ask for, as far as I know, for those documents to be resubmitted. So I must say, a number of improvements have been made to address that issue, and hopefully things have improved at that end. And I know also at the level of the regulator, they have a kind of time frame now to at least ensure that the applications are delivered within that time frame. And as far as I know, they try to, as far as if all the documents are submitted, it's all complete, then they have to abide with those kind of time frame that they themselves have set up.
So we have seen a lot of transformation. A lot has to be done. So what do you focus from now till 2030, Mahen?
Well, I know at the level of the industry, we have a strategic plan. I think it was a 10-year plan that was supposed to end in 2030. That was reviewed recently, and the whole idea is to see how we follow the trend and how what the industry is looking for. I think the digital transformation, fintech areas, these are the new space where we'll see more and more tractions, and that's where we need to put a lot of focus on that. And I see Mauritius financial center going towards that new sphere of activities going forward. So definitely we have to really embrace this new technologies that we're talking about, AI, blockchain, fintech. That's where we see Mauritius going to be in the years to come. So that's said, we have to, of course, get the right talent in place to ensure to service this new area within this financial services industry.
Yeah, that's great. So it's a very great note to end of a future that's innovative, responsible, and people-driven. Thank you, Mahen. Thank you, Pamela, for your insight. So it is clear that Mauritius has not just a proud past in the financial services industry, but a very bright future ahead. Thank you for your time.
Pleasure, real pleasure, and I think I keep on believing in this industry, and I have no doubt that it's going to keep on thriving, going further.
Thank you. Thank you.